Hi, in this video we are going to talk about PHP tutorial continuing from EG003. This is a list of suggestions how you should use this video. The notes for this video can be found at this URL, which is loaded here, and we are at EG003. So in the last video we finished the application, alright, but we want to do a little bit of error checking. If you are watching this video for my class, for the assignments, you do not have to do error checking. You can just submit assignments, right? But in the real world situation, this application is obviously not complete because you don't validate the errors. You don't check user input, so that is dangerous. Let's say here, okay, the user say borrow amount, the user type in $1,000. And then they put interest rate 20 and 30, okay? And then when you calculate, you give user 0. So user will be like, hey, your bank, know that your program broke, you suck. So that's not good, okay? So you have to stop user from doing things like this. And then there may be things like user forgot to key in the borrow amount and key in other things, and then he get this. You shouldn't allow user to come here because user will say that your program is not good. Blah blah blah, complain to your manager, complain to your supervisor, then you lose your job. That's not good. Okay, so you want to stop user from number one, not keying things, number two, keying the wrong thing. So let's talk about not keying things first. Okay, so if the user didn't key in anything, they will send the value to the second file, investment. And then, because the filter input method will check, if something actually go true, and if that thing is a floating point number, obviously if nothing is go true, investment will be false. Okay, so you can do the input validation here. Okay, so if you say my investment is false, that means if my investment is false, that means this filter input method give me a false output. That means something is wrong with the HTML investment text box input there. So you say 3 equal sign. All right, 1 equal sign means assignment is not even equal. Okay, it's assign a value, always true. So don't use 1 equal. 2 equal sign means is equal, but it doesn't check the type. So there may be errors when you check true or false because certain things can be equal, but they're not exactly the same type. 3 equal sign means the value must be the same and the type must be the same, so that is the safest. So we use 3 equal sign. All right, and then we say there's an error message. Investment must be a valid number. Okay. Or else, if that is false, or else error message is nothing. Or else error message is nothing. Okay, so if error message is nothing means there's no error. So you can check here, you can even just to check if you're doing the right thing. Okay, so if you didn't key in anything, make sure you save, Ctrl S to save. If you didn't key in anything in the borrow amount, you should say investment must be a valid number. Okay, great. But then the problem comes like, hey, I don't want to see my error message here. I want to send the user back to the first page and show the error message somewhere here. So in order to do that, I'm going to say I don't want to output here. I want to send the user back to the first page, and there's only one way I know how to send. That is to use include. So if the error message is not equal to empty, that means there's something. That means I have to send it back to the first page. Again, when I do this, include is not the correct way to do this, because what include does is basically copy the whole code and paste it below here. Oh, don't forget to exit to stop the rest of the code from executing. But anyway, when you copy all the code from there and paste it here, your control, the URL, is still the process. So that's not the right thing to do, okay? But to do the right thing, we need to learn hidden location. We probably will need to learn section. We probably will need to learn how to pass value back using the get method, query string and all that. Too much work. We don't do it now. We just do something like half true, just to get by for the time being. All right. In a real life situation, you probably shouldn't do that. Okay. So we want to include the file. All right. So if that is the case, calculate. You send the user back to the same page. Okay. Send the user back to the same page. But then you probably should give user an error message, or else the user will be very sad. It's like, why do you keep sending me back? Okay, so to do that, we have to go back to the first page and say, hey, I want to show an error message, and the best place to show the error message probably is below here. And in main.css, there is a class called error. So we're going to use that. So below here, after BR, another BR, and we're going to put a PHP code. So if the error message is not empty, oh, bad idea, sorry. If the error message is not empty, empty is a method to, or function, whatever you want to call it, to check the, is a function to check the error message. So if that is the case, I can just echo error message, correct? And let's try that. And then I can add, oh, I don't even need that. Oh, I need that, sorry. So now if you do that, you didn't key in anything, they will say investment must be a valid number. If you key in something, you go to the second file. But if you didn't key in something, for the investment, they will send you back. For the borrow amount, they will send you back. Okay, but yeah, it's not very pretty. We want it to be red, and we want to do some security features. Okay. So to do that, we want to add HTML code here. So we want to end the PHP and start the PHP again. Okay, so what is going on is you enclose two PHP tags, open and close. What is in between is PHP. So this is PHP, but what is outside here is actually HTML. So you can put your HTML tag. and this is HTML, so you say that I'm going to put a class called error. So we make it red, and then we say I want to echo my, and then PHP again. So you have HTML and then you have PHP again. I want to echo my error message. Okay, I want to mention that error message actually is a variable declared in the second file here, right? But in the first file, because they are separate files in the PHP server, you shouldn't remember the error message. But why you remember the error message is because it used the include statement here. So basically, you copy the whole code and paste it below here. The HTML, the PHP engine still thinks that it's looking at this file, although actually this is actually the code from the first file. Okay, so let's do that again. So let's say you forgot to key in the investment and calculate. You have a syntax error. Fantastic. So let's look at the 918 of input. Oh, I added extra semicolon. So let's try that again. All right, investment must be a valid number. Okay, good, right? So if you did not key in that, investment must be a valid number. But this is actually not very safe to just do variables like this. To make it safer, also to make it, if you have special characters inside, you don't want special characters to shown, you probably should do a function call, use a function called HTML special characters. So if there's special character inside there, it will convert it. Also for security reasons, you do not want people to inject anything into your code. So if you do not key in that, you will have that. Okay. So that's pretty decently good. But there is a small problem here. If user is looking at this for the first time, okay, they come to the input for the first time, error message is not defined. So if you click on the input, okay, okay, it's not very good, but we are going to deal with that later. All right. Okay. All right. So special characters here, error message, and then you have 1000, 20, 30, calculate. But if you forgot to key in this, okay, so you didn't forget to key in this. You key in 1000. So we take care of the empty. We take care of the empty situation here. If you didn't key in anything, investment will be false. But what if I key in 1000? All right, English. Right, the program does not do English because this is filter float. All right, so you send the user back. User will be like, hey, I actually key in English. Your program does not recognize English, so you're a very bad person, right? So I'm going to complain to your boss. So that's not good. So you have to tell the user that, hey, we don't do English here, we do numbers, okay? Alphabet or alphanumeric or something, numeric numbers, okay? So in order to do that, you have to check something else. Okay, when the user key in this, you have to check that. Actually, you already checked that because 1000 investment is false. You already checked that. But what if the user key in this? User key in minus 1000. Say, I'm going to give the bank $1,000. You calculate, if the user gives the bank $1,000 at this rate, after 30 years, the bank have to give you back that much. Okay, that's not good because the bank does not want to give you back that much. So, but this will pass the investment check. Investment is true. Okay, so you have to take care of this kind of situation. So if the investment is less than 0, so here you'll be like else if if the investment is less than or equal to 0, you don't want to deal with the customer, you say my error message is probably I should use single quote, not double quote, because just waste processing power. I say my investment must be greater than 0. Okay. So if the user key in minus 1,000, calculate, the investment must be greater than 0. You check, you fall into this category. All right. But then there's a problem. Okay, let's say I do minus 1,000, 20 and 30, I calculate. You send the user back to the first file, and all the values disappear. Okay, it's quite okay if you only have 3 text boxes, but most of the bank forms you have like 25 text boxes, 30, 40 text boxes. If all the values disappear, user will be really mad at you, say that your user interface is unfriendly, go complain to your boss, and now you're in trouble. So to take care of that, you want to put the value back into the text boxes. So you go back to input and say the value of these text boxes should be investment, right? So this is PHP. Okay, so the value of that should be, and you want to do HTML special characters, so that you want to take care of special characters also for security reasons. Okay, so that is your HTML special characters investment. I hope I spelled it correct. All right, so again, this part is HTML, this part is PHP, and this part is HTML. Save. So now if you key in minus 1,000, 20 and 30, you click, they will send back to the first page, and they keep the minus 1,000. That's pretty neat, right? So we need to do the same thing for the interest rate and number of years. Keep those values. You just copy this, put it into the value here between the double quotes, and put into the value here between the double quotes, but the name of the variable must be the same as the interest rate here, and the years here. So now if you key in the wrong thing for the first one, calculate. Oops, I keyed in something wrong. Oh, I put two dollar sign. All right, 20, 30. Calculate. They will send the user back. They say investment must be greater than 0. The user will say, oh, that's what I did wrong. I can't fix that. So I put in 1,000. Then you send it back. The user say, oh, the investment must be a valid number. But there's a small problem. 1,000 won't come back because investment has to be captured first on the second page. Okay, so you won't capture 1,000, but you will capture this. But at least you capture this and that, right? So the user does not have to rekey in everything. All right, now the second thing is, what if the user key in interest rate and forget to key in interest rate? You calculate. Okay, sorry. Investment must be 1,000 investment is correct. Now the user forgot the key interest rate. That is not right, right? You should send it back to show the user and say interest rate must be greater than or equal to 0, or interest rate must be greater than 0, or later you say interest rate cannot be negative, all the good stuff. So you can just keep adding else if statement, do the interest rate, else if statement for the years, do all the possible scenarios that you think that you will go wrong to continue the error checking, okay, to finish the code. I'm not going to finish all this here, or else my video will be really boring. So you know how to do this, you just can expand to the rest of the stuff, okay? So we are almost done, right? Okay, but there's a small problem. So if you go back to the first file, if you're looking at this file for the first time, okay, EG003 input first time, click on it. You have junk code here. So what is all this junk code? Okay, if you copy this junk code here and put it in the new file, Control V to paste, this is actually a PHP error message, say undefined variable investment. On 928, say investment is not recognized. It will be like, I define it in process. You should recognize here, but you are not looking at process, you're looking at input, and investment was not declared on top. So that's why they will give you this funny error message, which is actually a notice, PHP notice. So to fix that, you need to add something in front just to check that if you're accessing the file for the first time. So you say, if I'm accessing the file at the first time, I need to set some value. So if my investment is not set, my investment is going to be nothing, not nothing, empty. That will take care of investment. So if you are doing it for the first time, your investment won't show you an error message, show you the error notice. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing for the interest rate. I just copy this. I'm just going to copy that. Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and then I'm going to do the same thing for interest rate. Control C. Control V, and I'm going to do the same thing for years. Control C, Control V, Control S to save. Now if you're accessing it for the first time, you are not going to show the error message. Okay? Alright, before we stop, I think it's a good time to validate. Come over here, file by valid, direct input, view page source, select everything, Control C to copy, come over here, Control V to paste, check, finger crossed, no error message, no warning. Okay. Second file. Let's key in something. Second file, view page source, copy, replace the old stuff, Control V to paste, check. Good, no error. So I passed the error checking. So my two files are good. Okay. Of course, the error checking is not completed. I have not done yearly interest rate. I have not done number of years. So here you probably should keep adding if else statement below to test the interest rate, test the years, make sure they are correct. But my application is demonstration is more or less complete. Okay, and that's a good place to stop. My example 3 is finished. I mean, at least the demonstration is finished. So thanks for watching the video. Bye.